Hey guys, in this video I'm going to teach you how to factor trinomials when a is 1. So this is where you're going to use the big X method, which requires you to use that skill we practiced on page 12, where you have to figure out what two numbers multiply to a certain number and add to a different one. So there are 3 steps. The first step is to find a GCF if possible. So that's what we've been doing all for the last 2 weeks or so. You have to look and see if there's a GCF among the numbers. It's not always going to be there. But this week, the trick is if the very first number is not 1, there's a GCF. So pay attention to that. Step 2, if a is 1, which this week they will always be 1, find the factors of c that add up to b. And then step 3 is to put the factored form in parentheses. You're going to have either x plus a number or x minus a number in each set of parentheses. All right, so let's take a look at letter A. We have x squared plus 9x plus 20. As I said before, you want to focus on the number in front of x squared. In this case, there's nothing there, which means a is 1, so there is no GCF. Now, c always comes from the very last number. So I'm going to take the 20 and put it in the top of my x. The c always goes on top. The b is always the number in the middle, so I'm always going to put 9 down here. And if you ever forget, you just have to look up here at the top of your page. ax squared plus bx plus c. That's the general form of what we call a quadratic. Okay? So the last number goes on top, the middle number goes on the bottom. And now we're going to do exactly the same thing that we did during the other video, where you have to figure out what two numbers multiply to c but add to b. So since I'm always multiplying to the top number, that's the number I have to find the factors of. So in this case, I'm finding the factors of 20. All right, so 1 always works. That's 1 and 20 in this case. 2 and 10. 3 does not work. 4 and 5 are my other factors. Now, 20 is positive in this case, so that means all my numbers are the same. 9 is also positive, which means all my signs are positive. So now I just need to figure out which pair adds to 9. Well, 1 plus 20 is 21. 2 plus 10 is 12. But 4 and 5 make 9. So I'm going to use 4 and 5. Those are the two numbers that add to 9. And then there's only one more step you need to do here. You need to take this and write your final answer. The 4 and the 5 are part of your answer. There's always going to be an x at the beginning of each set of parentheses. The 4 is positive, so I'm going to put plus 4. The 5 is positive, so I'm going to put plus 5. And that's it. That's going to be your answer. Letter B. Again, there's no a out in front here, or there is an a, but it is 1. That means there's no GCF. The last number goes in the top of your x. The middle number goes in the bottom. Remember that the sign in front stays with the number. That's why I wrote -60 and -4. You got to keep those signs. All right, again, I always multiply to the top, so I need the factors of 60. 1 and 60, 2 and 30, 3 and 20. I don't believe 4 works. I am wrong. It's 4 and 15. 5 and I believe 12. 6 and 10. 60 divided by 7 doesn't work. 8 doesn't work. 9 doesn't work. And we already have 10. All right, now 60 is negative on this problem, so that means one of my signs is negative. So the signs of each pair are different. I'm adding to a negative number as well. That means make all the bigger numbers negative. And I want to add to -4. So let's see. 1 plus -60 is -59. 2 plus -30 is -28. 3 plus -20 is -17. 4 plus -15 is -11. 5 plus -12 is -8, I think. 9, 10, 11, nope, -7. And then 6 plus -10 is -4. So that's the pair that I want. 6 and -10. Once again, you always put an x in the front of each set of parentheses. The 6 is positive, so I put +6. But the 10 is negative, so I'm going to put -10. And that's your answer. Letter C. Again, there's no number in front of x squared. That means a is 1. There's no GCF. The last number is positive, so it's positive 42 in the top of the x. The 13 is negative, so -13 on the bottom. So I am going to find all the factors of 42. All right, 1 and 42. 2 is going to be 21. 42 divided by 3 is 14. 42 divided by 4 doesn't work. 5 doesn't work. 6 and 7. That's all the numbers. 42 is positive, which means all of my signs are the same. But 13 is negative, so that means all those same signs are negative. And I need to add to negative 13. Negative 1 and negative 42 add to negative 43. Negative 2 plus negative 21 is negative 23. Negative 3 plus negative 14 is negative 17. Negative 6 and negative 7 is negative 13. So I choose negative 6 and negative 7. Again, the x's go in the front. And then minus 6 and minus 7. And that's my final answer. Last one. If you look at letter D, you should notice that there's a number in front. Well, we said that all of these problems are going to be where A is 1. So in this case, we know there has to be a GCF. For this week, you can use that trick for everything. So 2 is the number in front, and I know that it's going to end up being 1. So I'm going to pull a 2 out because I know each of these numbers is divisible by 2. Now, the important thing to remember is that you take that 2 and you bring it down here and put it in front of your answer. If you don't have the GCF as part of your answer, it means you're not 100% correct, so don't forget that. Now, let's divide. 2 divided by 2 is 1, or x squared. 10 divided by 2 is 5x. And negative 48 divided by 2 is negative 24. Now I move into the big X. The last number goes on top, that's negative 24. And the middle number goes on the bottom, that's 5. So I'm going to find all the factors of 24. 1 and 24, 2 and 12, 3 and 8, 4 and 6. All right, the top number is negative. That means my signs are different. The bottom is positive, which means the smaller numbers are going to be negative. All right, so I need to add to 5. Negative 1 plus 24 is 23. Negative 2 plus 12 is 10. Negative 3 plus 8 is 5. So that's the pair that I want. Negative 3 and 8. X's go in the front of your parentheses. Negative 3, so that means minus 3. Positive 8, which means plus 8. And again, don't forget to put that GCF out in front of your answer. And that's it. That's how you factor trinomials where A is equal to 1.